most women you date, I hate to say it, will constantly be trying to replace you, okay? Most of the females you date will constantly try to replace you. And the reason they're going to constantly try to replace you is because they will think that they can do better than you, okay? And the reason why they think they can do better than you is because if you're like most guys out there, most guys who have not had dating education, any pickup training, they tend to pedestalize their women, okay? Even if they are doing much better than her in life, they tend to pedestalize her, right? They don't treat her as if they are better than her. Instead, they treat the girl as if she is better than them, even if they are way higher value than her, way higher value than what she's used to getting. They tend to treat her like she is better than him. Okay, as Gizmo barks. Sit down. So this is why I tell you guys, you are never going to ever have a relationship where you treat your girl like she's an equal, or worse, she's better than you. That works out. Those relationships will never work out. I promise you. Hear me now. Okay, if you're buying into the values of the politically correct mob, the mainstream media, the mainstream narrative, late night talk show hosts who are telling you to become a simp, who are telling you to empower your woman. She's above you, mister. You're just this lowly little male. No, those relationships will never work. Okay? Ever. That chick will always end up cheating on you, leaving you, or both. I guarantee you right now. Hear my words. Okay? Hear my words. Trust what I say. You'll thank me later. But understand, most women you'll date, if you're like a lot of these blue pill guys out there, they're going to constantly try to replace you because they're feeling like they settled. They're feeling like they settled. Even guys who come off very alpha when they first meet these girls, very badass, very like masculine. A lot of these guys, because they're lacking dating education, pickup training, red pill knowledge, they end up simping later on. They end up weakening, right? They end up weakening throughout that relationship. The girl just keeps hammering away at his frame, and then it gets to a point where the guy finally breaks, right? He doesn't check his girl, never checks her, never puts her in her place, never prevents her from crossing his boundaries. Eventually, that chick loses respect for him, and she starts looking for his replacement. Why? Because in her eyes, she doesn't trust him to be a man. She's like, I'm with a beta. I want an alpha. Okay? She's not going to, verbally in her head, that's not what she's going to be saying, but that's what it's going to translate to, okay, in her actions. So you have to understand, most of the women you'll date, if you're like most of these guys out here, will constantly try to replace you. Whereas what I teach you, what I teach my students, what I teach my 7 months of mastery students is you have to come into your relationship knowing that you are better than her and acting like you are better than her and creating the aura and the frame and setting the standard in your relationship that you are better than her. You have to do that, okay? Now, does this mean to treat her piss poorly? To treat her, like she's a piece of dirt? No, of course not. Okay? I'm not saying that at all. It's just constantly reinforcing the fact that you are probably one of the higher value males, if not the highest value male that she has ever dated and that she will ever date. Okay? You have to believe in who you are. You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in what you bring to the table. You have to value what you bring to the table. The problem with a lot of you guys is you don't value yourselves enough. You don't give yourself enough credit, and you end up giving the girl too much credit. A lot of times she hasn't really accomplished anything in life, right? She might have graduated college, ooh, big whoop. She might be working for an accounting firm, ooh, big whoop, right? But she's not you, right? Sometimes you just give the girl too much credit. And even if she is doing better than you, you might have bigger dreams than her. You might have bigger plans, and you might end up surpassing her, right? I could think of a few girls I dated back in the day where I was like dating them. I knew I was better than them, even though they were doing better than me. And I did date one girl who graduated college, got her degree, was working for this accounting firm, financially was doing well. She could support herself. She didn't need me, didn't need a man for that matter. And I was kind of down in the dumps. I just lost my job. I was going broke and didn't have much money. And she was doing better than me. But I never let that on because I felt that I was still better than her. I felt that I was worth more. And you know what? I did end up achieving more than her. Obviously, I started my own business. I've done financially very well, right? Beyond anything she'll ever do with her life. So I did end up surpassing her. But it just reinforced the fact that I believed in myself even back then when I had nothing. And she was doing better than me, right? I'm just using her as an example. But when you get in these relationships, you have to believe that you are better than her. And she has to believe that too. She has to believe that because in her mind, that will translate to he is a high value male. And I don't want to lose him because it's hard to find that, right? Because most of the guys that these chicks meet, even though they might present that alpha badass when they first meet her, eventually that deteriorates as she hammers away at his frame, because that's what these chicks will do. They will shit test us over and over. They will hammer away at our frame to see how strong it is. And eventually a lot of these guys break, or they just don't do anything to protect their boundaries, and the girl loses respect for them. And then she starts wandering off looking for his replacement, looking for the BBD, the bigger, better deal. Whereas when I get into any kind of dating relationship with these girls, even if I'm just cold approaching them, I'm coming in with the frame of thought that I'm better than you. And very few, if none, have been able to prove otherwise. Right? I think there was only one girl that I approached where I was like, I'm way better than you. And she turned out to be like this big time LA fashion designer, a new celebrity. She took me to a lot of parties where she introduced me to celebrities. She had like a mansion in the Hollywood Hills, had a brand new Mercedes top down, brand new Range Rover, multi-million-dollar house, guest house, pool, the whole nine. And that was a case where I was like, okay, this chick's doing better than me, right? But that was the only one time I was wrong, right? And even then, I still acted like it, right? And I created that aura in the relationship, and that chick stayed attracted to me. She was like, I don't know, Matt has a delusional self-belief, delusional self-confidence. I'll just go with it. He seems so sure of himself, right? But I don't go into these relationships like most guys out there, most chumps, we call them AFCs, average frustrated chumps. I don't go into these relationships pedestalizing the girl, making her feel like she's better than me or anything like that, because the second you set that frame, she'll believe that. She will buy into that. The girl will buy into any frame you set. And unfortunately, most guys set the frame that the girl is better than them. That's why she has no respect for him. This is why she loses respect for him. And this is why she starts looking for his replacement. She starts looking for some guy that she feels is better than her. Because females, as women, just part of their biological instincts, they don't want to be with a low-value male. They don't want to be with a guy that they feel that they're better than. No, they want to be with a guy that they feel is better than them. That's just how it works. There's always going to be that social hierarchy. And I'm sorry if this is not politically correct, and the politically correct mob is going to come after me for this, but this is what I've learned through decades of teaching male to female relationships, dating advice, being out in these venues. I've seen this play out over and over and over, and you're never going to convince me otherwise. I've seen that when there's a social hierarchy in the relationship where the guy's on top and the woman is not, and there's not this equality, but the guy's on top, the woman's not. The guy's leading and the woman is following. Those are the relationships that work out. Those are the relationships that last. Those are the relationships where the girl does not cheat on him. Those are the relationships where the girl stays sexually attracted to him, where she comes home after work. She doesn't wander off to TGI Fridays or anywhere else after work with her girlfriends and looking for a higher value male to replace you with. So just understand, guys, most women you date, if you're like a lot of these blue pill chumps out there, will constantly, okay, and I mean that, they will constantly be trying to replace you. Okay, and this is why you need dating education. You need pickup training. A lot of guys bag on pickup, scam. It's like, scam my ass, it works, right? And this doesn't happen to my students. We laugh at these guys that this happens to. It's like, dude, you could have learned otherwise. You could have studied this stuff. You could have bettered yourself. You could have been more prepared. And this chick that you just invested your life into, you just invested money into, you just bought a diamond ring for, you would have known better. Right? You would have known better had you got yourself some dating education, some pickup training from the 33 Secrets. You would have known better. You need this stuff. Most of these chicks will try to replace you the second that you kowtow to them and you try to do this equality shit in your relationship. You try that. Every single relationship that I've seen play out, and I'm talking decades of experience coaching guys, okay? Not only online, but offline, in field, in venues. I've had guys who've been divorced, guys who are in marriages, guys who are single, guys from all walks of life, all types of socioeconomic backgrounds. I've seen this play out over and over without fail. The guys who've tried to practice that equal shit in their relationship where there was no social hierarchy because they bought into the mainstream narrative. They believed all these late night talk show hosts and Trevor Noah and all these blue pill simps like, oh, you kowtow to your woman and all this other stuff. Every single one of those relationships where they're like, nope, me and my girl, men and women, exactly the same, right? There was no social hierarchy. Every single one of those relationships ended. Not one single one worked out. Never, right? Even the ones where they tried to stay together, there was anger, conflict, resent. The chick hated the guy. The chick resent him. She would poison drip him constantly. She would make him feel this small. She would attack his manlyhood any chance she got. There was like no harmony in the relationship. Like whenever the guy would like be speaking, instead of looking at him with eyes of admiration, she'd be wandering out, like her eyes would be wandering off. She'd be rolling her eyes, right? Totally disrespecting him, mouthing off to him, right? Treating him like he's nothing, even if he's like this successful entrepreneur or this successful surgeon or dentist or doctor or lawyer, right? She would be treating him like he's nobody, right? Is that the type of relationship you want? No, of course not. You want the type of relationship where your girl respects you, admires you, looks forward to coming home to see you, isn't wanting to go out with her girlfriends to search for other guys, but is wanting to come home to you, right? When you're speaking, she looks up to you. She's like, wow, I'm with this guy. She admires you. She respects you. That's what you want. And the way you get that is you create that social hierarchy in your relationship. That's just how we are as humans. There is a social hierarchy that needs to take place. To go into these relationships feeling and knowing that you're better than her, that's not meant to be like derogatory. That's just meant to be realistic, right? You have to go in feeling like, hey, you're better than the girl, because if you don't, and she's higher value than you, you know, what are you doing in that relationship? Are you just going to like feed off of her like a vampire, feed off of her resources, and you're just going to turn into the woman in that relationship where you can't fend for yourself, you can't provide for yourself, you're going to be depending on her for that? No, that's not what you want to do, especially if you call yourself a man. That's not what men do. That's what mooches do, right? That's what value leeches do. They just want to like suck you dry of your resources when you're putting in all the work. Just understand that, guys. Most women you date will try to replace you when you do all that blue pill simp shit that most guys do these days. But when you have pickup, dating, education, and training and red pill knowledge behind your back, you're not going to do those things. And your girl is not going to be constantly trying to replace you. But like I said, you have to create that hierarchy in your relationships, right? Somebody has to be above the other person. And as a man, you have to be leading, so you have to be above, right? And it can't be fake, it can't be false. You have to be on your grind. You have to have reason to think you're better than her, right? You have to have social value. You have to be crushing it in life, or at least have big dreams, even if you have nothing in life, like I did back in the day. You have to have big goals, big aspirations, things that you're working towards, trying to make happen. And you know, sometimes you're not always going to succeed. A lot of times you'll fail. I used to fail a lot, but I kept getting up and I kept hammering away at a new goal and another goal and another goal until I finally got to something that hit, right? That's what separates winners from losers is, you know, losers are always looking for an excuse to quit, and winners are always looking for a reason to keep going. With that said, I'm going to wrap up here. Until next time, this is M from the 33 Secrets. Don't forget to smash that like button below. Also, hit that notification bell right next to it so you're notified whenever I release a brand new coaching video here on the YouTube. More importantly, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Very important you subscribe. Helps me out a ton when you do. So please subscribe to my channel, and also share my coaching videos with like-minded friends of yours who really need this education, this training, okay? This dating education and pickup training. So share my coaching videos as well.